I don't recognize this country anymore. You ever say that? Or you ever hear somebody say that? I guarantee someone in your circle of friends says it. If you don't, I don't recognize this country anymore. And we talk a lot about our late stage republic here. And one of the things we describe about what's happening in our country, one of the ways we describe it is the death of everything. We normally, when we're talking about diversity, that's really what we're talking about. But that's really all communism, all cultural Marxism, which is what we have now. That's what it does. It kills everything. And it even kills things that you can't always quantify. You just know things are worse now than they were before. You can't even really describe it all or really make all the connections, but you know things are worse now than they were before. Things just kind of start to rot in a late stage republic like ours. They look worse. Now, I'm not a human being who has lofty opinions of United States senators. I know a couple of them. They're fine. But overall, I actually can't stand United States senators. Republican and Democrat, they're mostly useless. But the United States Senate is a big deal. It is. On the world stage, the United States Senate is a big deal. You take some head of state from any other country, virtually any other country on the planet, major nation, small nation, and if I'm Senator Kelly instead of TV and radio host Kelly, and I get to your country and I want to sit down for a cup of joe, hey, this is Senator Kelly. That prime minister is going to come make time to have a cup of coffee with me. It is a big deal to be in the United States Senate. Now, they no longer have to dress up and dress professionally. Courtesy of Chuck Schumer, he's changed the dress code. Why did he change the dress code? Well, everyone knows why he changed the dress code, because John Fetterman tries to do this everyman thing, so he dresses like a bum in a hoodie and shorts, or like that guy everywhere he goes. He's supposed to look like a senator. He doesn't want to, so they changed the dress code just for Senator Cucumber. Now, is this a huge deal for you or me? Does this change the price of your eggs or your gas? Does it stop the poisoning of your education system? No, it's not. In and of itself, it's not a big deal. It's just one more thing. Today, it's Senator Cucumber wearing a hoodie on the Senate floor. You know how this goes. I know how this goes. 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be some tranny in a thong with the gavel in his hand, gaveling in the State of the Union address. You know it, and I know it. Now, speaking of Senator Cucumber, let's talk about something people hate talking about. So let's do that. That sounds like a good time. Let's talk about his stance and the stance of Democrats on abortion.
Do you support any restrictions on abortion?
I don't. I've always believed...
Even in the third trimester?
I believe that choice is between a woman, her doctor, and a God if she prays to one.
Do you believe there should be any restrictions on abortion?
I don't. I believe that's a choice between a woman and her doctor. You know, as a politician and a man, I don't have any input in that.
Are there any limits on abortion you would find appropriate?
I don't believe so, no. I believe that is between a woman and her physician.
That's the stance not of Senator Cucumber. That's the stance of Democrats in this nation. No limits. Every United States senator, every Democrat has voted that way. Every state senator in the country, state rep in the country, Democrat, they all pretty much voice that publicly now. No limits, no limits, no limits, no limits, no limits. And I brought up this issue because this is an issue that is very, very, very important. And it's one that has the right twisting itself up into knots. And they're definitely twisting themselves up in knots over it today. Why? Donald Trump sat down with Meet the Press and gave an answer about abortion that is all over the place. And then at one point in time, he said the 15-week abortion ban from Florida was terrible. Anyway, here was his exchange, his 15-week abortion exchange. Here was what he said.
If a federal ban landed on your desk, if you were reelected, would you sign it at 15
Are you
weeks?
talking about a complete ban?
A ban at 15 weeks.
Well, people are starting to think of 15 weeks. That seems to be a number that people are talking about right now.
Would you sign that?
I would sit down with both sides and I'd negotiate something, and we'll end up with peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years. I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think what
too
he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
Okay. All right. Now, let's set aside the abortion, how you feel about abortion for a moment. We will come back to that in a moment. You know how strongly I feel about it. Let's set all that stuff aside for a moment. What are you seeing there? What's Donald Trump doing there? He's trying to punt on this issue. He's trying to get rid of it. He believes that's a general election answer. That's what you just heard right there. He believes that abortion, banning it, is a losing issue for Republicans. He doesn't want to lose, so he wants to punt. I mean, we'll all come together and we'll agree. What he did was wrong, they're wrong, but we're all going to agree and we'll all move on. Okay, he doesn't believe that. I hope he doesn't believe that. That's incredibly naive if he does, but he doesn't really believe that we're not going to come together on any kind of an agreement. But he's trying to punt on the issue. Just get rid of it so I can stop talking about abortion. And this has people on the right all mixed up and arguing with each other today, all weekend long. What's he talking about? What's he supposed to be pro-life? No, that was a smart move. We got to win elections. What do we do? Here's where I stand on this issue. Abortion. Abortion is evil. Abortion is wrong. My stance now and forever, no matter how many people stand against me or argue with me, my stance now and forever is that it should be illegal and frankly criminal. Okay, that's my personal stance. What is the stance of America right now? The stance of America is overall, they like it. They do. They do. Many want it banned, like me. Many want it legalized. Many don't really care. But overall, Americans don't have this horrific negative view of abortion. They don't have the view of abortion I do. Maybe the view of abortion you do. So what does that mean for us on the right? How should we respond to that? All these Americans think abortion's okay. It's just a clump of cells. It's a woman's body. What do we do? I don't want to lose elections. So what should I do? Should I step into their world of evil and make-believe? Yeah, no, it is kind of a clump of cells. Hey, vote Jesse. You think that's what we should do? Well, no. Let me explain. We say politics is downstream of culture. We love saying that. That's an Andrew Breitbart quote. We love saying that, but we lose sight of what that means. If the American people love abortion, and I have to punt on the issue of abortion to win elections, well, that means the American people need to change. That means we have to begin changing that culture. You see, we have an American public that is in favor of abortion because decade after decade after decade after decade, all of their cultural institutions have told them it's fine, it's a clump of cells, it's fine, it's a choice, it's a clump of cells, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Our culture has been conditioned to believe it's fine. The solution is not to agree with them that what's wrong is fine. The solution is to begin to work on our culture from the ground level so they know it's a life. The solution is not to change our stance. The solution is to change our people. We have a culture problem, not a politician problem, a people problem. We must fix us before we can fix them. And why do we have a people problem? Well, check out this news report from New York, school district in New York, and I think you'll understand why we have a people problem.
A health teacher at Matlin Middle School in Plainview has been removed from the classroom after the district received complaints about a 5th grade homework assignment deemed inappropriate. The assignment given on Monday, the anniversary of September 11, posed a hypothetical question. Nuclear war is near and you can only choose 6 people to hide in a bunker. Who would you pick? Among the choices, a police officer with multiple charges of brutality, a 38-year-old retired prostitute, and a 50-year-old formerly addicted to cocaine. And we did reach out to the teacher, but have not heard back from her. Meanwhile, the teachers union has declined to comment.
Seems like an easy choice, by the way. But anyway, setting that aside, that's the idiocy your children, my children, learn in America's education system. Why do we have a public full of adults who believe that the life growing inside of a mother is just a useless clump of cells? Because our public has been educated by a bunch of weapons-grade morons for decades now. They don't learn about biology and life and truth. They don't learn it in school. They don't learn it from the media. They don't learn it in Hollywood. They certainly don't learn it from their politicians. We have to begin to change America's culture. That's our solution on abortion. And one more thing. You know what? Speaking of New York City, let's bring this up, because it was just one of the best ways I can show you what I've been talking about, that we have a government. You know how we've been talking about we have leadership. They hate us, and they want none of the things we want. None of the things we want. It's wild. Republican and Democrat, it doesn't matter. They'll give joint press conferences talking about how Ukraine's the most important thing in the world. No American has Ukraine in the top 10 issues, but our elites say it is. I saw a great example the other day. AOC and Jerry Nadler were doing this little impromptu sidewalk talk in New York City, and they're standing up in front of all these angry New Yorkers who are ticked off about all the illegals there. And the New Yorkers are all, close the border, close the border. And as they're screaming, close the border, get them out, AOC's up there talking about sending them more money and giving them jobs. All right, quit. I have great news. If you enjoyed that, I have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to. Whatever I do, it'll be right there on YouTube, so go subscribe today.